Oh my god, it's Zelda time again.
We're playing the more of the Zelda. Hey, look at that. You've gotten 128 deaths. That means you've had exactly 1,000,000 deaths.
Very nice.
I think. Wait, now I'm thinking about this.
Well, 128, that would be... Oh,
Go down.
Oops. 1, 2, 4, 8, 16,
Yeah,
32.
1 followed by 7 zeros.
If I say, yeah.
It's still quite punishing. It takes off 2 squares of my health.
I think if you hit, if you have 255 deaths and you take 1 more, then all of a sudden you now have negative 255 deaths.
I have to assume they would account for that. Oh. Then again,
Probably.
1987, so...
Yeah.
Yeah, but this wasn't built in 1987.
Oh, yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, yes, this one most certainly
Oh, well,
is
yeah, this-
using a, like, IEEE modern integer.
Yeah, I'm sure. I hope so.
Would be fun though if it overflowed, just like the game saying you're so bad it lost count.
I was looking at stuff recently that was saying that the common notion that the nuclear Gandhi thing, the idea that he has a violence score of 0 or of 1, and when he takes democracy that lowers it by 2, but then it underflows, and so he becomes the most violent dictator on the world in the original Civilization game. Apparently that's not the case.
Yeah,
Apparently
that's
they
not
had
the
accounted
case.
for that.
You might need to explain this to me.
Okay, so in Game of Sid and Meier, all the NPCs have a certain violence score. That's like how likely they are to attack their neighbors, right?
Okay.
Characters like Hammurabi are going to have extremely high scores, like Genghis Khan. A bunch of warlords throughout history are going to have very high scores, and they're very likely to acquire resources through raiding, warring, and pillaging. Whereas you have other leaders that are more peaceful. You have, like, Gandhi, especially, is one of the only ones who has a violence score of 1 on a scale of, like, 1 to 10. Most of them have at least a score of 2. Gandhi, I think, is the only one who has a score of 1. When they take the democracy government, that lowers their violence score by 2. Which the idea is if you do 1 minus 2, it becomes negative 1. But with how numbers work, negative 1 is technically the same thing as, like, the highest value that you could record in an unsigned integer. So, and then people noticed that in Civilization games, you would have a Gandhi NPC that was fine up until a certain point, and then he would acquire nuclear weapons and just use them all the goddamn time.
Oh my god.
Do not go there yet.
Wait, was that the Trident
Okay.
one?
Now, the reason that it became a thing is not actually because Gandhi was more belligerent. He was, in fact, less belligerent.
looked like an
It's
unicorn.
just that in the original Civilization, once you get nuclear weapons, everybody gets kind of nuke happy, and it was just the funniest with Gandhi.
Yeah.
Oh, that Gandhi.
It's a little
I've seen
unfortunate.
people claim that the Gandhi thing was an urban legend, so I don't know.
Yes, Sid Meier has come out and said, no, that's not how the numbers worked. It would not underflow, it was a signed integer, it checked for below 0 stuff correctly. I find it kind of unfortunate that it is just a made-up thing, because I think it's a real fun way to sort of teach people the idea of underflow and overflow, and like why that matters and what that means. Because it's a thing you still have to think about today, even though it's like, you know, most of the people who are making web pages and stuff are never going to have to actively think about that. All the numbers going to be managed by whatever system you're coding in.
Right.
But, like, you still have to think about it when you're, like, on the IEEE council, and you have to be like, okay, how are we going to do How are we going to change the epoch when we pass the point where it's bigger than a 32-bit integer?
When does that happen?
I think that happened in 2023.
Oh.
Where it had finally been more than 2 billion seconds or whatever since January 1st, 1970.
Why was it 1970? What happened in 1970?
I think it was
Nothing,
just that they
just
were coming
picked
up... Yeah, I think they just were doing it in the 70s. Or they had, there was nothing really that you needed that kind of time scale for anything that was younger than 1970 or older than 1970. It's like, yeah, if you have something that needs to be dated to like the 60s or 50s or anything else that's computerized, you can just write that in as a word, as a string, instead of using an actual number.
Right.
Epoch only really matters when you're trying to compare the, like, right now to the only a little bit ago.
Right.
Careful, those purple thing are stealing a ton of your EXP.
Yeah, I know, but they're also very annoying.
Line Boom says how to become this defining trait in future games.
I need to actually finish the second palace. I forgot to do that.
I mean, if it was a defining trait, like, if I don't know if they've specifically done anything where they've made Gandhi specifically more violent as a joke, but like...
I think they did that in at least one of the later civs.
God.
But like, game developers like a good
I suggest you go to the Great Palace anyway.
They probably did it if they did it
But
on
I need
purpose,
to
they did it
finish
'cause
the
they think it's
thing.
funny.
Why do I need to go to the Great Palace anyway?
Because it has a shortcut.
Ah, okay.
Simon Tesla, no, we were just talking about that. It is not an underflow bug. That is a rumor. Sid Meier has come out and said, no, that is not how the numbers work. It checked for below zero correctly. It was simply that once anybody got nukes, they were pretty keen to use them, no matter what their violent score was.
Oh, come on. Not wearing a helmet.
Scales are hard.
Maybe he's just got a really hard head.
It must be that his head game is too strong.
The lizards work out at the library.
Makes perfect sense.
Keep thinking these guys work like booze. They do not. Anything over here?
Big old bag of pee. Does it stand for points? I never figured that out.
Probably.
Captions said big old bag of pee.
Yep.
Yeah,
Like
what?
that.
Well, pee is stored in the sack.
Exactly. Oh, no.
Damn it, Rick.
Come on, get up here. I don't like jumping over lava when you can just float in my face whenever you like.
Nobody likes lava. Except for lava,
Ow.
lava people.
See, like that. Ow.
Oh, damn.
Brocade Bear says, was one of the forms a pole dancer, or was it the carousel one?
That's
I mean, the carousel is on a pole. I guess technically, Carshot is a pole dancer.
No, not Carashot.
Or car.
Up in your dang eye. Ow. Tiny bastards.
That's what I usually call children.
You could dispel them with Enigma.
That's true. They made it cost a lot less. Ow.
Ah.
I need
Oh.
jump apparently.
Ugh.
I might be able to make it without it, but I need the proper running start.
Yeah.
Ow.
That gate was not in the original, was it?
It was. It
It
just
was,
wasn't
yeah.
like that. It didn't work like that.
Right. Oh, ho, ho, ho. Is it two-way? Like, could you go back at any time?
It looks like.
Cool.
This is a nice shortcut.
It is. Isn't that handy?
See, that makes me wonder. Nope.
Ah.
I
Oh,
thought
okay,
the
so-
last slime would be around here, but it is not showing on the map.
Is it inside the Great Palace?
It would appear on the map if it were, I think. So more likely you missed one somewhere.
Yep, time to go slime hunting. Slunting.
Really?
Don't know about that.
Okay, let's start over from the beginning.
Maybe it's also in the second palace. Let's see.
Oh, that's a place it could be. I do not see it there.
Oh, there's another place it might be.
Yes, I imagine.
Usually how such
Yes,
things work.
indeed.
Let's go look at...
I saw it.
Yeah,
This game's a
at the very start. The thing that we missed. Meant to come back for it.
A likely story.
Yeah, this part is hard.
Is it any easier as a chicken?
Slightly.
But if I had a nickel for every time I asked that question, well, I'd be broke.
Need to maintain your triple jump.
You need to gain a momentum over a one-block wide platform.
Yeah, that's annoying. Why can't I need to pivot, like, immediately.
Yeah. Oh.
Almost. It does give me more time than it looks like.
Hmm.
But I do need to jump towards it.
Yeah. I can see what they're intending, but oh, ow. That's rough. Ooh. Rick, you've already cast jump, right?
Yes.
Okay. Sorry.
Not really anything else I can cast.
Yeah. Hmm.
No, just a lot of patience.
Oh, Fed, you popped again. We need to do something about that.
See, I didn't hear it that time.
I didn't
It's
hear a
weird.
pop that time.
Oh, you didn't hear it? Oh.
No.
Huh.
That's
Well,
why I think it
was-
might be on Discord's end.
Yeah, there's something wrong with either how it's encoding for Discord or how Discord is emitting the sound that the TTS comes up with.
Hmm.
Because I don't know if the TTS is like sending an MP3 or like setting up something like that.
See, the thing that drives me crazy is there's a lot of links in that chain. There's the TTS program itself. There's Windows, which is notoriously bad at times. There's VB cable. Then there's Discord, and then there's I mean, there's
Well,
Does the popping happen to any of you?
Yes, but it happens intermittently. It might happen to only one of us. It might happen to a couple people. It might.
and if it happens to Rick, it happens to the chat. That's weird. It's a mystery, gang. But yeah, I think we'll do some more research on it. I still haven't ruled out VB Cable being a piece of shit because it does that sometimes. Like, I have never had any luck with any voice meter stuff other than spectrally simi.
Brocaded Bear is asking, could I get some context for what? Fact that I'm playing a chicken?
Hey,
No,
sometimes
sorry,
it just
contact's
happens.
not found.
Context not found. 404. These are not the droids you're looking for. No context here, just poultry.
None here, but it's chickens.
Still do not understand why the momentum does not carry over.
It's like Twilight Princess, but Link has been cursed to become a chicken.
I swear this game has no coyote time.
Coyote time. What a great term.
You need to land like right at the...
Yes, right at the...
Right.
I think it's harder as Link.
So far it hasn't seemed harder as Link.
Oh, shit.
¿Qué pasa?
It's making progress.
He's doing it.
It's happening.
What if you keep the spell ready and turn into a chicken at the top of that jump?
Maybe. There we go.
Yeah.
Give me that tasty pea.
Feel that.
After 1,000 years.
Dead.
You tell him.
You did a little chicken dance.
I wonder if there's a Link to the Past fan game.
A Link to the Past fan game, huh?
I don't know. I mean, I
It's like saying, is there
Remember
a
that well backside.
Metroid 2 fan game?
I don't walk in the same circles as all y'all. I'm not, I'm not cool like
I mean, I don't even walk in those circles, and I know that, yes, there is a million fan games of that kind. I mean, hell, you could say Tunic is a fan game of Link to the Past.
Were there any Zelda games where you had to translate parts of the manual from Hylian? I mean, I know that there are games.
No, I don't
where
think
you have...
Hylian is as much of an established language.
Okay. I mean, I know that in Zelda 3 you had the Book of Medora in game, but
Kazali Osaran says we need 4 Swords Adventures online. Well.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, maybe you guys should do something about that.
I'm also kind of hoping Nintendo's going to put the GameCube and Wii libraries on Switch at some point. Maybe? Be nice?
Maybe. See, I wonder if they would do that for the Switch, or if they'd wait for the Switch 2, and then they'd be like, alright, Switch 2, now we're doing all of the, GameCube and up, including
Okay,
Wii U.
what's over here? Magic refill. Chicken.
Take the chicken plunge.
Now where am I?
Rick, you will absolutely play as any animal that's an option at all, right?
Seems like.
You know, I've been every now and then I pop over to that one little retro shop in downtown, and I mean it's not. I don't go just to go there. It happens to be near a bunch of like one of my favorite coffee shops, and also a couple other little places I like to go, and they've always had like a bunch of retro consoles for on sale for less than 100, and I've seriously thought about getting the GameCube, among others, but I don't know if I can really justify it. You know, like there are maybe 3 or 4 games for the GameCube that I really love, but that's it. You know, like Twilight Princess, Wind Waker, Sunshine, the other one. Oh, and Star Fox Adventure, of course.
Do you mean Sonic Adventure 2?
Do you have a Wii, Jonas?
I do
Looks
not
less
have
cool,
a Wii.
but it can play both Wii and GameCube games.
Yeah, I mean they have that one also at the place at the retro shop. I could do that too. I don't know. I'm torn. I don't really. Okay, I'll let me put it this way. I don't really like the Wii controllers. They're kind of clunky. But at the same time, I don't really like the GameCube controllers either. They're just strange.
You can just plug GameCube controllers into the Wii too. It has the ports.
Yeah, I suppose I could. Oh my god.
Shotgun, why are you bopping me? I'm just sitting here. I'm not even saying anything.
You're not even doing nothing.
I'm not even doing nothing.
Yeah, I'm not good enough to miss you. just birding along.
The nice thing about playing the Cuckoo is that it lowers my hitbox. Yeah, I'll pick this up with the chicken.
Chicken sword!
Done. The
Gas.
Master Sword.
Is that a longer reach? Oh my god.
Oh my god.
The most powerful thing in this game possible.
The most powerful thing is just a Japanese katana, one of the absolutely ridiculous ones that's like 10 feet long.
I don't think... Alright.
Can pierce most enemies' defenses.
No, it's not a real thing, Jonas, but it's a thing in video games and anime, and it's hilarious whenever it gets used.
Sounds very, Sephiroth.
Yeah, I think Sephiroth was probably one of the first ones. I know that they have a couple of them in, like, the Souls games now.
They did it in Gurren Lagann. Kamina had an absolutely just ridiculously long sword.
And I've seen one of those kinds of things in real life. I don't remember if it was an actual sword or if it was somebody making, like, a prop of Sephiroth's sword. But I remember seeing a video of somebody going through, they're like, there's a very particular technique you have to use to be able to withdraw this sword. Because your little arms literally can't get far enough apart where you can hold the sheath and the handle and have the sword come out. Because it still has a bit further to go. So you have to, like, rock the handle on the, like, top of your heel of your thumb in a particular way to get it out, actually all the way out of the sheath.
Okay, there's one called the Naginata, which is, the entire weapon length is about, let's let's see, that would be about 8 feet. Although it's not all blade, it's mostly handle and a little bit of blade.
I mean, I'm sure there's blacksmiths making those for the novelty and cosplay.
Oh, yeah,
One time I
course.
saw a video of someone who made the berserk sword, like an actual huge hunk of metal.
Mm-hmm. Like, how many, Master Swords has, like, GDQ given away?
What's the name of that one channel? My brother, they're always doing...
Mythic Forge or something like that?
No. Well, I think, isn't it Man at Arms?
Oh, that might be it.
They're always they're making like they're forging like the Buster Sword or Captain America's shield or shit like that.
Yeah.
My brother loves that channel.
Some of those are cool.
Yeah, sure. I mean, it's impressive. Yeah, I appreciate the zeal and devotion.
Race is just filling the sheep off.
Oh, oh, is it already that time of night?
Darn it!
What? He started it. Bob Ray. It's his fault.
So is the reach longer? I was not sure about that.
It definitely looks much longer.
We're just talking about sword
Actually,
shields.
I'm going to... I'm curious how this works. I'm going to
what
bop
works?
Ray and Jonas, and I'm going to see if it correctly bops you on the couch and Ray as an icon.
But do you still
No, it
get the
just
piercing
bops
as a
Ray.
chicken?
Okay.
Aw. Something for 2.0 or what version are we on now?
What, the Avatar thing?
Yeah.
Like... fucking 1.3.11? I don't know, I haven't been updating the version number.
Oh, okay.
But if you think of how many updates there have been, yeah, if I run like the 11th minor update of like the 3rd major update or something.
Oh, another nice thing is you can shoot rays at less 1 bar of health. You don't need it completely full anymore.
Oh, that's nice.
Don't shoot Ray. Well, I mean, unless it's, unless we're really hungry. He is tasty. He is venom. He is made out of venison.
Everybody's made out of meat.
What if it's deer season?
Ray, is it your season? You can tell us. It's okay.
Ray, are you in season?
Are you tasty? You go better with red wine or white wine? Or beer? I'm not picky. We're gonna eat, Ray. Ray's gone barrel for barrel, and that's a good I've noticed it's easier for me to get pumped about something when I actually know the exact date. Like, I know Satisfactory 1's coming sometime this year, but that's vague enough that I'm going, okay, well, sure, whatever. It's like when they're like, October 2nd, I'll be like, okay, now I'm feeling some semblance of hype.
I mean, that's how you should feel about things.
Yeah. Don't tell me how I should feel, Miller. I've got feelings.
I don't know, man. I don't feel like getting overhyped for anything. Even though as much as I've talked about, like, especially recently, about Elden Ring and Dark Souls and stuff, it's like, yeah, Shadow of the Guard is coming. We know the date for it. Okay. I don't know what it's going to be like. I don't know how good it's going to be.
Right.
I don't know what the actual price for, like, the simple version of it is going to be, so I'm not going to get excited for any of it.
Right. It's really about specifics because, it's like when they say, oh, a project's, being shopped around the studio. It's like, that doesn't mean anything.
Yeah. So the things I tend to want to be excited for are how did a thing get done correctly and how can we do things in the future in that same way where we don't make mistakes by learning from that thing. Or how did something go incorrectly and what can we learn from that?
You think you can level up before the next statue or not?
Yeah, I think so.
Alright, Boxer's got a poll for us.
Would you rather eat Miller or Ray? Nobody ever wants to eat me.
Don't eat refuse animals.
Yeah, that's valid, but I'm still gonna pretend to be butthurt about it. I wouldn't eat. I don't know if I'd want to eat a weasel.
You wouldn't eat a weasel.
Right?
And then you wouldn't download
You
a
cannot
car
eat
fund.
weasels. Trust me.
Right, I'm not saying I don't want to be the snack. I just don't want to be. I want to be the snack in principle, not in practice. I want to have the feeling of knowing that I could be the snack. You know, it's more about my self-esteem. Okay, just let me have it.
I'm adding some extra options to the poll there, Boxer. So which would you rather eat? Chicken, Miller, venison, Ray, kangaroo, Rick, bat, Stoker, instantly sick.
Oh, lovely.
If you eat a Stoker, you will become ill.
Who even looks at a bat and says, let me get some wing sauce? I mean, come on, look at the goddamn thing.
I think it's the kind of people who are just like, I haven't eaten anything in 2 days, and that thing was alive, kind of.
Of course.
I mean, there was a whole thing about that a few years ago.
No way.
That or your Ozzy Osbourne? Well, yeah.
There you
Or you're
go,
just
some
doing
more
it purely
things.
for the shock value.
Get back here.
Ray says, I think my haunches may be safe here. God damn it, chat.
Ow.
Oh, is that how it works, Greg? Do you have like a deer butt?
Yeah, are there like certain parts of you that are deer and certain parts that are fox, or is the whole thing just kind of take the two animals, shove them in a blender, and see what comes out?
So what does West taste like, anyway? Kangaroo, whichever form it is now, all animals at once, or like some undescribable thing.
West tastes magical.
To try to if you were to try to hack off a piece of a shapeshifter, it either tastes just like amorphous, sticky goo, or it would literally turn to dust as soon as it becomes disconnected.
West tastes like Odo.
You know, you say that, and now I'm trying to think back if, Diana's mother Ever got a taste of Odo? Like when they were in the elevator together and Odo was melting because he'd been awake for 2 days or something?
You mean Deanna? Oh,
Diana Troy, right?
Deanna Troy.
Troy.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, I'm sure somebody probably licked Odo at some point.
Luxwana, yeah.
Ray says if you try to eat with, you become OS, like the thing. Headcanon accepted.
Let's see,
Was that Was that a new boss? I don't remember that.
that was the boss that I did not finish.
Oh.
You're not even gonna go
Yeah.
into the room behind him? Just gonna immediately turn
No!
around?
It gives me a free level up, and I'm only like 800 away from the next level.
Ah,
Oh.
I see. So pick up a couple more experience points and then go back in there?
Yeah.
You might farm those floating skulls a few times.
I could also
Two.
just make my way out and go through again.
Do, do, do.
In you
It
hum
does it.
Megalovania.
Do, 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 do.
No,
I do wish that they
stop that now.
had unique music for each dungeon like they would later.
Yeah.
Not that this is song. Not that this track isn't a bop. It is.
No really, is it possible to hum hard songs?
Yes. Yes, it is. But you have to be
What?
very talented.
I mean, what do you mean by hard songs? And what do you mean by hum? Also, what do you mean by or
What do you mean by words, Frederick?
what do you mean by is?
Like Megalovania or Dancing Mad?
Well, I mean, pretty sure you can only hum one track at a time.
Yeah, if you're trying to say, like, can we hum it completely and utterly accurately to the original song? No, we're not trying to. You can hum the, like, major melody in it and make it, and it's still clear.
What if you hummed all together? A humming choir.
That would require some of us to actually know what the parts of it that are not the main melody are.
We're getting into a cappella territory. There's an acapella group called Straight No Chaser, and they did a cover of a Christmas song, and I really enjoy it. And like it's the like I want to like share it with people, but it's a Christmas song everybody hates. They just made their version better. Yes, I believe we are eating Miller. You know what? I'm adding chicken to the list of morphs. Hold on.
Me that chicken.
So for Miller, I have chicken, DRG, laser eyes, and math. For GC, I have extra Canadian and DRG.
I bet it.
For myself, I have all the ones you would expect. For Stoker, I have innuendo eyes and spooky.
And you have Fed, you have Shivwi.
Yeah,
However
I'm
that's
not-
pronounced.
I don't think it's Shivwi, it's like Chivwa. But yeah, I've got Chivwa, DRG, and Pizza. And apparently, Pizza Frederick is just like... He's not holding a pizza, he is the pizza. So,
Yeah, I assume it's like Pizza the Hut kind of thing.
yeah.
Oh, hey, look, it's Android.
Nice. The only one I have right now for Ray is Sus.
On point.
No, I want experience.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
There we go.
Alright.
Wait, it goes up to 9,999. What happens then?
Hmm.
Does not matter because I'm going to be maxing out my experience again, so. Do 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 do.
You get a temporary extra life if you pick a stat that's maxed out.
Ah, okay. What? No,
Do
there's one
androids
direction.
use USB-C or wireless charging?
Yeah, I need to go down that elevator.
Do androids dream of electric sheep? And if so, are the sheep cute? And or
The
Jack?
androids... What did they do in the story? I know they went to sleep at one point, but I think that was to conserve power, not to generate power. So they're not self-sufficient. I guess they probably, yeah, have like microwave charging. So wireless. Gotta say that, and now I'm wondering if you have like, you're at like a convention or something and somebody has what looks like one of those, thermometers that you use from a distance. Right, it looks like a little plastic gun or whatever, but it's actually a microwave emitter, and they just kind of point it at an android and just hold it down for like 10 seconds, and the android is fully charged. It's like, congratulations, you just energized the air with about 10,000 watts. If you increase the amperage by just about half an amp, You would have started creating
God.
lightning.
800 more experience points just going through it again.
Oh my god. You gonna grind all the way up to?
Well, this gives us him a full level, so he's instantly gonna go to 9,500.
Oh damn! All right. Oh, Trust is trading with a party of 9. Hey, Trust.
Hello.
Hello.
Trust is playing tabletop RPGs.
Okay, so all that's left is the Grand Temple.
But what about that thing with the Triforce that you said not to go to?
That comes strictly after the Grand Temple.
But I'm gonna beat the game when I do that. Also, it's called the Great Temple.
See, that time he popped for me, but no one
Did
else
he?
seemed to
Oh,
react to it.
I didn't
The
hear
Great
it.
Palace, actually.
That's what I'm
Palace is
saying.
here.
Oh shit!
It's not a thing that comes through everybody. It's a thing that only happens certain times. So there's something going on with
I couldn't
Discord.
remember the name.
Well, there are a number of AV settings in Discord that we could possibly play around with, but I can't, I haven't suggested any of those yet because I don't have any concrete evidence that one of them will fix things or make it worse. I'm gonna do more research because there's a bunch of YouTube crash courses on every single variable in Discord, and we'll see.
Hello, Drifter Claps.
Hey, Drift Cops are ready to party of 2. How you
Can.
doing? Getting all the raids tonight.
All the raids.
Alright, Trust, catch you later.
Mimi.
No, we need a lurk command. I want to be able to lurk. Feeling lurky.
So the Great Palace was kinda a pain in the original game, right?
Massive pain, yes.
Yeah. I remember there was a lot of bullshit in this one.
Well,
Having a
Don't
map
like that
does
well.
help a lot.
Yeah.
What
does
am I
that thing
looking
have
at?
nibbles?
I was about to say, what am I looking at in this model? Does it have boobies?
What?
Might be.
Wait,
Is
I
it
didn't-
called a harpy?
I don't know.
I can't believe I missed this.
Nope, that doesn't reveal hidden passages. What's the point of having all these spells? if they're not used for anything?
Point of anything. I mean, existentially speaking.
I guess I just need to avoid wherever those slimes are.
Fukuru. Yes, the artwork for it definitely looks like a harpy, including having uncovered tits.
Alright.
It's funny, because, yeah, there's a illustrated artwork of it, and it's like, nope, yeah, that's like a classic harpy.
Can I see the artwork? For
Just
artistic
linked it.
interest.
I sometimes want to ask, gay people, so what do you think of boobs? Like, are they gross? Is it, is that a bad question?
I just don't think they would think anything of them.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I just feel like, okay, that's there.
Was that in the original game or did they uncensor them in this remake?
No, that's how it is in the original game. I'm looking at the actual wiki article of the Adventure Link, and the sprite looks exactly the same.
Oh.
The weird thing is that there's like white highlighting on it, and there's 2 little tiny highlight spots that just happen to be in the right place to make it look like nipples.
Hmm.
So I find it funny that in the wiki they say the Futabasha guide artwork, which was not created by Nintendo, appears to be a complete misinterpretation of the sprite. Rather than appearing as a bird, it gives it a bizarre alien-like appearance. And yeah, it's some weird like beetle body with thick legs, these tiny twindly arms, and then a head that's got like 6 eyes on it.
Which does not make any sense because the Great Palace is very clearly bird-themed.
I don't know. I mean, that happened a lot. I remember all kinds of manuals where shit just did not look anything like the sprite. Like, not just for video games, also for, like, computer games, which I guess are also video games, whatever. Muscle fire, mommy.
This dungeon would be just brutal without all the power-ups we got.
Okay, Bear says, I feel like the area where you needed the manual to play the game was weird in retrospect.
I enjoyed that, though. I liked having manuals and strategy guides and such. I realized that, you know, the way video games are now, manuals are essentially obsolete, but it was fun. It was. I mean, it's because I like research. I enjoy research.
Game developers got better at teaching people game mechanics through gameplay.
Right.
Giant slime.
Big flame.
Yeah.
Wow, these things have a lot of health.
You know, the manuals, they added, I don't know, well, not, like, it gave it more personality, in my opinion. Because, yeah, those little illustrations.
These are just fire bars from Super Mario.
Yeah, it's the same sprite. That's hilarious. There was a certain charm to it, and, I don't know. I understand the mentality.
I think we just got better at being able to
Yeah.
represent that kind of stuff inside the game itself. So you have
Yeah,
that same sort of art and writing skills are going to use in the content that's inside the game instead of in the ancillary material. Which I guess at that time it wasn't really thought of as ancillary material. It was a part of the game.
Right. And I do appreciate learning it all in the game, like having the game be contiguous in that regard, but I don't know. I like promotional stuff. I also like, you know, Blu-rays where there's a bunch of extra crap in the case, you know, just stuff like that. I think it's good. Says the guy who owns like 5 Blu-rays. Maybe not even that.
Yeah.
Chicken versus chicken.
Stop this bird-on-bird violence. Dog Fox says, it was fun reading the manual on the car ride back home, excited to play your new game. Oh my gosh, yes. Oh, there's such warm feelings.
Shut up.
That triggers my nostalgia super hard. Driving home, breaking open the plastic, and just starting to absorb the manual.
Yeah.
None of you get carsick as soon as you read something?
No.
I mean, sometimes, but
Not as soon as I read something, I'd have to be doing it for a while and like craning my neck downward.
Right. Yeah.
I've usually been very good about getting car sick or boat sick or plane sick or anything.
We had to. I mean, me and my brother got used to getting incredibly bored on the usually about 7-hour trip from Bay Area to Los Angeles. So we just, if we did get car sick, we just kind of dealt with it because you would rapidly run out of things to do. Like, choose your own adventure books were a blessing because you could actually have multiple endings.
Well, yes, but also they were bullshit a lot of the time.
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, of course, come on.
Fucking moon logic in many of those books.
Of course, it's for kids!
It doesn't mean it doesn't get to make sense.
Miller's like, no, it has to be internally consistent. Every ending must be properly threaded. No,
It can be internally consistent. It can have decent writing. Just because it's for kids doesn't mean it has to be shit.
Alright, fine. Well, you can read Choose Your Own very well-organized adventure. I'm getting grief.
I just don't like this sentiment that I see a lot of people say. They're like, oh, it's for kids, therefore it can be shit, and it doesn't really matter. It's just like, kids like things that are good. Like, if a thing is quantitatively good, like if it's just of good quality and of good writing, all this kind of stuff, like, kids can still pick up on that and they still like that more.
Just say well-coded. I know what you mean, okay? Just say well-coded.
No, I don't even mean well-coded. I mean, like, well-written. I'm talking about Choose Your Own Adventure books.
I know.
7 hours car ride just sounds crazy to an European. My parents would refuse to do that unless really necessary.
Oh god,
and for
that
you
would be
Americans, it's just a leisurely weekend trip.
Yeah, that would be like for you. That would be like from one end of Italy to the other, maybe.
No, that would be like from the tip of Italy to like the north to like Normandy or something.
Oh man. But yeah, we would do that. I mean, God, we did longer ones. When we did the Yellowstone run, it was that was I think about 3 days on the road.
Or like the middle, but still.
Yeah.
Italy is about twice as long than that, I think.
We did Colorado in 18 hours over 2 days.
That's a haul.
Give me a second.
But yeah, we had the Etch-a-Sketch, we had 9 Balls of Beer on the Wall, we had Choose Your Adventure, we had the squishy ring toss game where you kind of splash the buttons and there's water in it. We had Don't Get on My Side of the Seat.
Maxi incoming.
Oh, okay. We, of course, had, you know, I'm putting my hand here, but I'm not actually touching you, which always ended up, you know, with
Did you
punching.
ever play Punch Buggy?
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many times I watched Spirited Away on the DVD player that was in my mom's car.
See, we didn't have that option. I mean, I think, like, maybe...
We didn't get, like, a DVD player until, like, I was in middle school.
Right. And I don't
And
think,
the
like,
first one that we had was, like, a real jank setup because we had to put, like, a miniature television in there somehow and convert the DC power to AC, and it was a whole thing.
Nice.
See,
I almost caught fire
we had
once.
one of those. See, we had a very
I can't imagine
interesting-
if car rides with 3 other brothers are easier or hard to stomach.
Depends.
I had trouble dealing with one.
Hello, Maxie. We're talking about very long American car rides.
Oh, actually.
Yo. I feel compelled. Why are you a chicken now?
I am a
Because
chicken.
Rick will do whatever he can to be an animal in whatever game he's playing. It doesn't matter what is happening.
Yeah, Jonah's talking casually about 7-hour car rides.
Yeah, I don't miss those.
apparently that is not as much of a thing in Europe.
I mean, my father is a bus driver, so I'm very used to this.
Oh.
So, of all the people who may be used to very long rides, that'd be me.
Oh, don't tell me you had like days where you were just brought along to work and you just sat on the bus all day long.
Yeah, no, not days. That was my whole childhood.
Oh wow.
I will I cannot sleep because my mother used to like wake up at 3 a.m. every day, because you know like they'd be called like this bus broke or this one driver is late or whatever. So I've never slept in my life.
Mm.
Run for it! Oh shit! Oh snap!
We're on
Shit.
the last.
It was a
palace.
trap.
Of course it was a trap, but it gets me to another place.
Oh shit!
Look
the
at the
walls
map
are
again.
just suggestions here.
I see.
Yeah, this one had a lot of secrets and just obnoxious traps.
Yeah, no kidding.
They're a little forgiving the remake because you get the map, but the original was just like, oh.
Oh, you didn't even have a map.
No, you were meant to literally draw one yourself with pencil and paper.
Yeah.
That is what they expected little kids to do.
Once in a while.
Actively cartography their video game experience.
Once in a while.
So here's
Nintendo-
the thing. The palace was a massive pain in the original, so of course they made it much bigger in this version.
Yep.
It's a lot worse.
Cool.
Seems that way.
Once in a while, Nintendo Power would publish maps. Like they'd do it like in the fold-out section in the middle, but just as often it would be a deliberately incomplete map to just tease us. Like it'd be question mark, what's over here? You know.
No, yeah, I remember Nintendo Power. Yeah.
Good times.
Shit, are you supposed to like remember that it's there?
They just have this big wall that's taking up most of the screen. I'm like, I wonder if I can walk through that.
Hmm.
That's required for an earlier palace, so...
Oh, cool.
So yeah.
Yeah, in that earlier palace I had forgotten about the hint a NPC gives you about the false wall and just wandered for an hour trying to find my waya.
Oh no.
Find your what?
Your waya.
Oh,
Way
oh.
out. Way out.
way.
Way out.
I inverted 2 letters.
Oh, just a heads up, Maxie. Fed's been having some audio issues. Don't be shocked if you hear like a little pop of static from him. We're trying to get, we're trying to get to the bottom of it.
Hmm.
It's because the weasel goes pop.
Yeah, nice.
We're gonna go back and explore some more. Might as well.
Do those things ever die or... Shit.
It
They
just
have
takes a
the
while. Yeah. Rick, are there any enemies that absolutely can't die in this game?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Ow.
Chicken. I wish more games that you become a chicken. I did used to like draw myself maps for games when I was a child.
Alright. Nice.
Yeah. Have you ever heard of? I think it was called either Sheep, Wolf and Dog or Sheep Rider in America. I'm not sure which one.
I think it was Sheep Wolf and Dog. That sounds familiar.
Yeah,
Oh,
Sheep,
that.
Wolf and Dog. It's a Looney Tunes.
I loved that game.
Yeah. So it's a for anyone who doesn't know, it's a puzzle game for the PlayStation 1. Looney Tunes themed, where you play as not Wile E. Coyote. it's his cousin, the wolf. Totally not Wile E. Coyote. So it had amazing level design, like really freaking tight puzzles, and a lot to explore. And the art was fantastic. Like to this day, it's still like my favorite example of like vertex animation in games.
I've recommended to Rick before to play it, but he never paid attention to that. Can you second my recommendation? It's an incredibly awesome game.
Yes, I definitely can tell you, like it's a game that's absolutely worth it.
I do not recall you ever telling me about it, Frederick.
So anyway, like the game, what was I saying? I forgot.
I've linked to it at least 2 or 3 times in the recommendations channel.
I do not recall this.
You all linked to a lot of stuff. That's fine, you know. So what? I was going somewhere with this, but anyway, when I was a child, like I never owned the game. I only ever like rented it, because that was a thing you could do before, kids. You could rent games. So this game would like absorb my brain. Every single class, every time I will have to return the game, I will like be drawing myself maps, trying to figure out how to beat the puzzles and how to get the most points or whatever, you know. And that was very enjoyable for me, you know, like just having to figure out this kind of stuff. I feel like it's a part of exploring games that is no longer like a thing.
There's another.
Yeah. I take notes sometimes for games still. Like,
What's the name again of that red monster from Looney Tunes?
Oh,
Gossamer.
Gossamer, thank you.
Yeah, he was such a fucking hard boss fight.
Yeah.
Oh,
I had to
you
look up a
should have
guide
another
for that
key
one.
way.
As a kid I could not get that fight for years.
Yeah, no, same. I never did get past him. Until I got myself the game again, played on emulator, and yeah, no, it was fantastic. I loved it.
Nice.
It was just like I was just playing through this like 6 months ago or something. Yeah, it was definitely summer.
Maxie, do you still have any of your old consoles?
Yeah, I have all of my
I've
old
linked to it
consoles.
again in the Discord.
Nice.
I think the only one I don't have is I believe I gave my copy of Fire Red to my cousin like many years ago.
Huh?
So I don't have my I don't know if I have my Game Boy Advance still. But I have definitely most of them except for my Mega Drive, which was stolen.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, that sucks. I still have the game, so I have Sonic, but like I don't have a way to play it. You know?
My old Nintendo mysteriously vanished when we moved to Los Angeles. I think maybe it had an accident in the hands of my mother. Just maybe. You know, one of those little side trips to the garbage can that just happens sometimes.
I had my PSP stolen at some point, but I guess now I have all the games for it elsewhere since they all got re-released.
Yeah.
I had a GBASP stolen at one point.
Oh.
And that's the reason I never finished Final Fantasy Tactics Advance.
Oh.
And oh yeah, my PS1 broke one day when I was a kid, but because of that my parents bought me the PS2, so it was a win.
Should put down that elevator.
My parents bought the PS2 for my brother, because he really wanted to play some game, but I don't remember which one. I remember one of the last few games we were bought for PS1
Oh, that's right.
was Dino Crisis, but I was really scared that my brother didn't care for it. So he instead changed it for Xena, the Water Princess. And that was such a fun game. It was clunky as all hell. It was kind of like a mix between a dungeon crawler and I don't know, like a general exploration level thingy. And it was one of those games where it had like 20-something levels, and if you died ever, you went back to the beginning. So I spent a lot of time like just being mad at the game. But to be fair, like most of my games those days were like my father used to like go to like, because my father is a long distance bus driver. He used to travel a lot to like, you know, like flea markets and shit. So most of my games back then were like bootlegs. So I got to play like a lot of Japanese games that are not released in Spain, because he would just find them. He would just find any games and be like, oh, that looks cool, and just buy it, you know, without having any idea what the fuck it was. You know, wait, what?
Maxie, did you ever play Rayman 1?
Yes, I loved Rayman 1. Like, I loved Rayman 3 way more, but Rayman 1 was my jam too.
Nice.
You know, our local video game rental store used to, you could just go there and be like, hey, can you pirate this game for me? And they would.
Nice.
Like I'm just thinking, like, what's the business model here? Like, why would you pirate a game that you are renting to people? You know, like, they will no longer rent it. What is the thought here, you know?
Are we talking about the same Rayman 1 with misleadingly cute graphics, but that was the Dark Souls of platformers?
It was okay. It wasn't so hard. Like, as a child, I beat it. Then again, I beat the Lion King NES, so also I have a lot of tolerance for bullshit. But I don't remember it being hard at all.
PS1 version?
Yeah.
Because other versions were made easier.
No, it was the PS1 too. The PS1 one. Again, I am just very good at games.
Nice.
That's
A very humble Spaniard.
what's the point of being humble when I know I'm good?
Nice.
I never did play The Lion King. I've always been a little curious about its purported difficulty.
It took me many a summer. You know, like I would like play the game obsessively, like from morning to dusk. And yeah, it was hard. I would not recommend this to anyone. But the animation was fantastic.
I remember seeing it. I don't think I ever played it. I have heard from others that it was kind of difficult.
Hmm. I feel like the fireballs are unfairly fast. And Link is very slow in this game.
Yeah, why did the remake dev need to make this palace even bigger?
And in case you're wondering, chat, yes, that is Maxi. That is just the sound that his dragon makes when he's, like, grinding his teeth, as it sounds like keyboard tapping.
Sorry, I keep forgetting
How
to
am I
mute
supposed to
myself.
hurt both of these guys at the same time, I wonder?
Secret wall, secret wall, secret wall. Maybe you need to have full health to throw knives.
Guess I need to go down that elevator.
Oh.
This is definitely a game.
All you gotta do is just gotta go down, 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 down.
You know what I've been meaning to play? I really want to play
You need the master key, but I couldn't tell you where the hell it was.
Monkey Island. Yeah, Monkey Island 1. I've been meaning to replay it.
You've played several
You
of the
never
Monkey
played
Island
it?
games on stream.
Yeah. Good times.
That's great. I love them. I'm just like surprisingly bad at adventure games.
None of the series. Maxi?
What's that? Once more fabric? I didn't get that. You didn't know they
Did
canceled.
you play none of the Monkey Island games?
Yeah, I played all of them. Like all of the main trilogy, not all of the other ones. The other ones that definitely exist, but I haven't checked.
Did you play Grim Fandango?
No. It's one of those like I have to play at some point in my life.
Oh, Maxie, have you ever heard of a game called The Sexy Brutal?
The Sexy
yes,
Brutal.
Brutal?
Yeah, I got it. It's a Spanish one from I haven't played, but it's from Tequila Works, right?
Yeah, I was gonna. Yeah, because they're in Madrid.
Yeah, no, I know them.
Oh, nice.
So I haven't like talked much
Oh.
to anyone there, but like I know the guys. Basically, like all the Spanish furry ones, like and such. I'm friends with the
Nice.
artist. Ivan is great. Everyone should be following Ivan. I'm apparently like people are aware of me in the Spanish game industry, but like in a way that I'm like, why? Why do you know who I am? Who told you about me? Be gone.
Wow.
It was us. We've been spreading the word.
Gasp.
I've definitely been telling folks about the hazy night.
Thank you. It's coming out in 3 days, folks.
Yes! 3 days!
3 freaking days.
Yeah. Go support Maxie's work.
Yeah.
He
I'll do
makes great games.
I make great games, but only one. I only make one on my own. I wanna make more games or less games. I'm sure. Imagine you are Link and you're like walking through a pool or whatever, and then like a fucking block of a brick block just hits you in the face.
Link is very patient. He's very stoic. He just sort of weathers everything. Because of his pure Bishonen heart.
Wait, that room looked different.
Even because of the fact that it is different.
No, you don't say.
I mean, yes, but most of these just look so samey.
No, yeah.
Okay, that time I heard the pop.
And see, I didn't hear one. That
You didn't hear the
time.
pop? Okay, alright, fine. Okay, so it's some kind of Discord BS. We'll work on it.
Ooh, sorry.
I want to make a game, but I have so much more to learn. So much more.
Well, you can learn making the game. That's
Yeah,
how I
no.
learned too.
Well, yeah, no, I was doing, I was sort of teaching myself Python for a while, and then I fell off on that.
Oh no, I have no idea how to program. I mean, I can program a little bit. You don't want to see my programming skills though.
I mean, Jonas, what are you talking about? You have made games. Like, what would you count Underworld Sky as?
I mean, I'm kind of modest about that because I don't really feel like I didn't make that. I just
This entire room just for a single blue potion.
Hmm.
I mean, I
That seems
contributed.
suspicious to me. I always have to try this. Never works.
I appreciate the people who go out and make the entire game on their own, but also I find that sometimes a little unnecessary and also very daunting for anybody who needs to pick up all those skills on their own.
Yeah, for me, for example, it was a matter of having to build a new career, right? Because like I lost my job in comics because I lost my wrist, right? I mean, I didn't lose it. I just was unable to use it as I had before. So I wanted to learn all the skills I would need in order to build a new career. And also, I don't like working with people. My job is telling people what to do for a living. I don't like that. I want to be able to be like, no, today I want to make my act 8 times in a row.
Yeah, no, yeah, totally. I absolutely understand that.
So
I am very much a hermit.
it's a matter of like knowing what you want to get out of making a game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like if you want a good like cooperative team effort, or if
This
you
looks
want
like a
to be
mini boss room. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a refight, yay.
You were saying, Maxie?
It's not sorry, I was just looking at all the stats. Right, you have to know what you want to get out of making a game, right?
I think for me, the most interesting part of the experience thus far, in as much experience as I've had, which is not a lot, relatively speaking, is the collaborative aspect, the pipeline aspect, just figuring out efficient ways to create these ideas and transform them to something that's game ready. I'm gesturing a lot. You guys can't see it. And even when things don't always work out for the best, it's still fascinating to be part of a creative team.
Yeah.
In my opinion, and it beats the hell out of retail.
Yeah.
I mean, the best way to like get a foot in games is to just do a bunch of jam games. Game jams. So, like, yeah, like just keep at it. Like every time you see like a game jam thingy, like you can offer your services as an artist. Be like, hey, yeah, so I'm an artist. I would love to collaborate with you all on making this. You know, like find a project that you like, and just go for it. Like that is the best way to get your foot in games.
I might do another jam one of these days. I probably don't want to do another like 48-hour jam because that's a lot. But
there are like 2-week-long jams,
Yeah.
month-long jams, like
Yeah.
different things that you can do.
yeah, that feels a little more comfortable.
There's also like visual novel jams that are very, very common. There's in fact one going right now for NaNoReno, which is National Writing Month, but applied to visual novels. So like, there's never a lack of those in Dev Talk and other servers like that. I haven't done any jams in a while. Because, tell me.
One of the things I really enjoy about jams is the challenge of being
Why does it have a skull on it? It's supposed to have a lion on it.
I think that's the master. Is it the master key or?
It's supposed to be the master key.
Is it now called the like skeleton key or something?
Why am I missing something in my item slots?
Oh no.
Oh. No, but I really like game jams really challenge you to be able to be flexible with ideas.
Yeah.
Like you want to hold on to a concept, but at the same time, you're going to also need to refine it. Maybe take pieces of it and keep some stuff. It's like a big shuffle game, and I naturally tend
That's how
to
game
start-
jam is in general,
Yeah.
or how game development is in general, jam or otherwise. Like
Yeah.
you need to be able to try out ideas, and if they don't work, you need to not be so married to them. The thing
Right.
about jams is you need to be able to adjust that algebra because you
Yeah.
need to make sure that you're moving forward almost all the time in a jam.
Yeah, and it's tricky because I'm the sort of person who will have a great idea and be like, no, this is it. I know I'm right. Everyone's gonna love this, and you can't. You have to be able to just kind of let go and let it evolve a little bit.
You'd be surprised how many people have had to kick in the face during jams about that. like yo, scope. And even outside jams, some people are very precious about their ideas.
Yeah.
And it's fun to make something and then have a new idea and then just oh, but we could do this and then it works with this and does this thing, and it's yeah, that is a cool idea. Just make sure that either you have made an appropriate amount of room to have those new ideas added in, or that it doesn't expand your scope too much,
Yeah.
because otherwise those will just keep going forever.
Here's a trick to game production. Contingency. Always plan for contingency.
Yeah.
Never assume anything will ever be done on time. Whatever time you think something is going to take,
Oh my god.
measure double and then add 30% on top.
When we did there was one jam we did where Miller was the finish line was I think what would have been 10 a.m. your time, Miller, and you were pushing stuff like a few minutes before.
Yeah.
That is very, very common.
I always think of Baba as you as a game jam success, since it nailed down the mechanic and got expanded into one of the best puzzle games ever. But the initial graphics were very simple.
I mean, the one that I always think of that's funny is Hollow Knight.
Yeah.
Hollow Knight was originally a game jam game, but if you go play the original jam game, literally nothing besides the visual design of the character is the same. They kept nothing from the jam game other than this basic art assets.
Sorry, I love seeing the fact that there's if you go through there you will fall. I love that. that's that. I love that. I love that so much.
So at one point you'll probably stumble upon a room that I will recognize as the way forward. Do you want me to warn you about it when you do, or wander aimlessly to explore a dozen more dead ends?
That's not passive aggressive.
I think if you recognize the room, I'd be able to tell that there's something different about it.
Oh, the chat's talking about Jonathan Blow.
Fuck that guy.
Jonathan Blow, more like he blows. Am I right, gamers?
I really liked Braid, like, without knowing anything about him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah,
leave Blow
but
where he
also there's
belongs.
2 ways to go at one point, and one makes you go forward. The other is a one-way shortcut that brings you to the beginning of the dungeon.
Ugh.
Ah, okay. That's what that arrow is about.
Ask me which I took first when I played.
Yay. It's the rat people, which are supposed to be hyenas.
Okay, but hyena people or knoll people? Because those are 2 different things. Sometimes.
You think I care about your photo distinctions?
Brutal.
We must be exact in our fantasy naming nomenclature. You cannot have any sort of ambiguity in these things.
Yeah.
Don't you understand the biology of fantasy creatures is a very important thing.
Oh.
And it matters to someone somewhere at some time who I definitely made up in my head just
Yeah.
now.
It's inviolable. It's inviolable canon that kobolds are, cute little lizard folks.
No, kobolds are dog people that mine and have candles on their heads.
I thought they look rat-like. Wasn't that the?
If you
Again,
play,
this is the shit.
if you
Now we're
play
actually
what-
getting into this discussion.
if you play, for example, like WoW, they're rat people. If you play Final Fantasy, they're No, Final Fantasy was the wolves or the dragons ones. I forget.
The original D&D ones were like dog people.
Right, that's right. I like when they're like the dragons.
Yeah, call me a degenerate. I like when they are tiny, short stack dragons. With thick five eyes.
See. Good for you, man. Good for you.
Floyd asks, "Why is Rick a chicken?"
Why isn't Rick usually a chicken?
Currently, I'm a raccoon.
Why are you a raccoon?
Oh my god, Jonas, you can't ask people why they're a raccoon. I know what you was doing, Jonas, that was Miller. I'm
Yeah,
sorry, Jonas. Jonas, you're fine. You get to ask people why they're not a raccoon. It's only Miller that can. See, now I can tell your voices apart.
Oh no. He's learning.
So are you like almost maxed out? Or,
Getting close.
as I was saying, the 999 there, like 899.
Yeah, this is the last. Like, you can't level up past this, right, Rick? Where you're going now?
Yeah. One second.
Bum 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 ba da bum 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 ba. This is our please wait sound. Do you like our smooth jazz soundtrack? This is what we play while you're on a call. We know you're probably in an emergency situation, but that's not important to us unless you file a class action.
You know, my pharmacy has this whole music that just drives me crazy because it's in mono, so it's only in like, it sounds very tinny. And it's like a short little snippet of a song that cycles after a couple seconds. And then, and if that's not bad enough, they about every 15 seconds, they interrupt it with, "Your call is valuable to us. Please stay on the line, and the next available assistant will take care of you." And I'm like, is it really?
Bunch of horse caca.
Yes, exactly. Horse pucky, as we say.
I love how this one that sounds. It's as though you were choking. It's as though you were choking at fairy. That's not a happy tune. That's a cry for help.
What country were Pizza Tower's devs from?
I think they were Spanish, no?
Were they?
I have no idea. Let me check.
Tour de pizza.
Can I say a hint or?
Does it have to do with the returning back to the beginning of the palace?
Not exactly, but more about the way forward.
I'm surprisingly not being able to find.
This place is just so dang big.
Sorry, say again, Maxie?
I don't know. I was just looking where it's from, but I'm not finding it. So I found it's from Tour de Pizza, but I don't know where it was made.
This guy's a pain.
Yeah, I can't find anything either.
I found who made it, but I have no idea where it came from.
I also found something that says that their company that made it toward the pizza was made in 2010, but that source seems a little unreliable.
The game feels kind of American. I mean, I can't say that for sure, but
It seems like it had a long development process, but no idea.
I mean, it's one of those things where it's like... Could be one of those things where it's like, yeah, the idea started in, like, 2010, but, like, you know, from, like, 2013 to 2017, there was no pen to paper. They were just focusing on work or other things. That happens sometimes with games. That's why I'm always a little incredulous when people are like, oh, this game has been in development for 10 years. And I'm like, is it, or is it just been 10 years since you had the first idea of it?
If I was to count like that, the Hazen 9 will have been in development for 11 years now.
nice. Okay, now Max, I do have a question. Did you always imagine them as anthropomorphic characters, or at any point were they people? Like you?
No, like I've talked about this for a bit. Like the thing is, it was written in Spanish originally. It was a novel, right?
Oh.
So the novel featured like a mix of like some people were like more animal-like, some people were more like people, you know. And not
Okay.
the novel, the very first version of it, which is like the RPG I made in 2013 when I was a kid. Literally out of college, I was like, I'm going to make an RPG, and it was called Heirloom, and it was about like becoming like beating a dungeon or whatever, right?
Huh?
Some characters were anthropomorphic, like Aina, and some others were like more like human with like wings or whatever, right?
Okay.
But by the time I made the novel, everyone was a deer or a gazelle. Thing is, like, to me, that was a person with horns, right?
Right.
Because in Spanish, the word for and the word for skin are the same word. So,
Oh, right. Pelo, right? Yeah.
Piel, yeah. So, pelo is hair. You want piel.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So when I had to translate it to English, because I wanted to show it to some friends, I had to make an executive decision of like, okay, is this hair or is this skin? And I was like, well, 4 feels like more alien, like that feels like more unique. I'm going to go with 4. And that was literally the main reason they became furries.
Do not go left.
Do not.
That is
Do
such
not
a
go
threatening. That's a threatening comment.
Of course. There's no king slime there.
Do not go left. You will not like what happens when you go left.
Oh, shit.
Oh snap!
Is that the
Oh.
final?
Nope. This is the penultimate boss.
Oh, okay.
Lord Jesus.
Left
That's-
would have suddenly taken you back yet.
Okay, so that's just a shortcut to go back if you wanted to,
Shit.
but
You
they
want
also
a
make it
quick
into a trap.
escape.
That sucks.
Finger says, long dev cycles make me concerned about the product. I get nervous when a movie has a long development cycle. When it's a game, I'm just kind of like, okay, you know what? Take your time. Take your time. It's cool. Don't rush
Again,
it.
I don't think that the time involved is usually a big indicator of that. It's just that there are things that can happen that produce a long development cycle and bad things.
Yeah.
So a lot of reshuffling with the team and the direction of the project, that's gonna make project A take a long time and also inshittify it.
Shit, bye.
Chicken knifey.
I can tell you for a fact, like I am super dumb. Hey Cam.
Hey, what's up, Void?
Who let all these handsome boys in this room? I desperately need to know.
Damn it, no dark chicken link.
He's not even swiping it.
I mean,
No
we do
dark
have Void
chicken
here.
meat.
He came here at the right time. He is our dark chicken.
I had no idea you actually made an avatar for me. Look!
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's me!
Welcome to the couch.
This is a cozy couch. Dude, Miller, I'm down to be in the bird corner of the couch.
Heck yeah.
Maxie! Frederick! Jonas!
What's up?
Rick!
Hello.
Good to see you guys.
Good to see you too.
So why chicken?
I'm so disappointed that it's not a chicken.
He's not even slashing at me.
He's scared of you.
You're too small.
He's
I
like,
did hit him
what's
once
his
so
name?
far.
He's like,
No. He's smart. He's genre savvy. He knows if he attacks a cuckoo, there's gonna be 1,000 that attack him in response.
He's a metaphorical chicken.
I was gonna say, I think Miller's right.
Darklink's like, please leave me alone, please. really does seem alarmed. Like,
He's too scared. Get him, Rick.
He's too scared to get in pecked.
I'm sure I could hit him more if I was actually regular Link, but then he'd hit me a lot more.
can you unchicken?
Yeah.
Okay.
But what's the point?
Yeah.
Come on, I know I hit him sometimes.
Destroy his shins, Rick.
Yeah, but protect on.
Ankle biter, bite his ankles, ankle biter.
Figures asked, so they patch out corner cheese for this ROM hack? Dare
I
I
have no
ask
idea.
what corner cheese is? That doesn't
Corner
sound
cheese
tasty.
is you can trap him in the corner.
What is that? I haven't heard of it.
You can trap him in the corner and hit him repeatedly.
Yeah, you get him in the corner, he keeps trying to back up, but he can't, and so he just keeps walking backwards.
I
against
think
the
that's
wall,
why
and you
he's
just sit there
jumping
and
here to get out of the corner.
Oh well, his ankles got bitten.
Baka.
You got him.
There's gonna be an extra hard version of him now.
What the? Whoa! What's going on here?
We're
Did you just-
consuming his blood or something.
You're drinking his blood now? To fulfill your...
This
your
is
ski-
kind of weird.
was a little strange.
Look south of Death Valley for Dragmire. Okay.
South of Death Valley, so like San Bernardino County?
Yes.
Anyway.
Shut.
Time for the emergency exit.
Wait,
In the first quest,
Wait,
you would have
bleeding.
gone directly to wake up Zelda.
Ah, okay. We're not done yet.
Oh,
Now we
boy.
are entirely in bonus content territory. Second quest starts here.
Second what now?
What do you mean second quest starts here? Haven't we been playing second
Yeah,
quest this entire time?
Wasn't the...
Oh boy, oh boy.
How comes your mom lets you have second quest?
Ow.
Oh, I don't have just second quest. I have 11 Cs. And quest
God.
time.
Okay, we're not doing the accents again.
Oh no, I liked where this was going.
I tried to, do an accent for Small Saga, and I can't even watch VOD because I'm just like, no.
Wait, like your accent for Gwen?
Yeah.
Wait, what
Your voice is so neutral for Gwen, though.
Yeah, you weren't using any accent for one.
I was just... Well, that just shows how bad
I
it
mean,
was.
yes, but it's almost identical to the first quest in original game. From here on, it's all new content exclusive to this version.
Oh,
All
there
bonus
you go.
content.
Like, Gwen was supposed to be Welsh, and Miller sent me some videos of the voice actor for Blythe from Elden Ring doing because that
From what?
voice actor from Elden Ring, the big wolf guy, and the voice actor actually is Welsh. So I was like, okay, this is let me see if I can try and emulate that. And apparently, yeah, I just
I keep telling you all, the only good Welsh reference out there is Drippy from Ni no Kuni and Nia from Xenoblade. Welsh Cat Girl is still like the choice of all the choices anyone's ever made in casting.
Needs to be more characters like that in these games, you know?
Yes.
Ray says only 10 more streams of Zelda 2 to go. Ahoy. Well, okay, it can only get, like...
You know, I'm just gonna assume that that empty spot in my inventory will be filled at a future point.
I'm just gonna hope that.
Fingers crossed.
That gate is impassable in the first quest because you didn't get the Triforce from Dark Link.
Ah,
But
okay.
you defeated him in the first quest and got the Triforce.
Oh.
Now to the Oracle games.
Classic.
Maybe?
Thank you.
Salud.
Gracias.
For Link's Awakening.
What does Enigma do?
It turns basically all enemies on the screen into slimes.
Oh, nice.
Mass polymorph.
So slimes are poly.
That's fighting dirty, Rick.
Oh,
Well,
come on, you're
those
not
are the two modes of Rick.
You're not gonna
Either
catch
fighting
me
dirty or
dirty.
fighting flirty.
Welcome to the Forbidden Continent.
How do you
Why is
feel about
it-
eating chicken now that you're chicken yourself?
Why is it called the Forbidden Continent? What's forbidden about it?
Maybe it's like Lodos or something.
Because I made it up.
Wow, you just make up a continent? That's pretty impressive.
Wow, you just go on the internet and tell lies?
That's creating the lore.
He's making up the lore that we missed out by not having the paper manual in front of us.
Yeah.
The deep lore.
Boy, do you miss paper manuals?
Every day.
Thank you. See?
Genuinely, I would love the opportunity to make one. It's been a dream of mine.
Right.
I was never like in love with game manuals, but it's something I do miss. And I remember reading some of them like as a kid, just to like pass the time. And get more, just like never get information about the game itself, but just like some of the lore and some of the stuff like that.
Yeah, it was like this little tomb of knowledge, you know.
It's like I remember the Left 4 Dead manual. It mentioned that Zoe loved horror movies, and so like she was somehow prepared for the zombie apocalypse because she kept watching zombie movies.
Here, I'm just gonna link like Nintendo has the Zelda 1 manual on their website. So I'm just gonna link that.
Really?
Yeah, hold on.
Please.
And yet, even without manuals, boxes are still too big with all that empty space. They should make game boxes the size of Switch cartridges.
Well, they make the boxes the size they do so that they look good on a shelf and that you can, appropriately see them.
That's true. I love the picture of Link on page 16.
Particularly, that's why. Especially if they're gonna keep going with this thing of like you buy the game and like inside is literally a disc of cardboard that says here's your activation code to go download it.
God.
Like just fucking have the games on the shelves literally just be a printed like postcard.
I don't know.
Don't even fool us into thinking there's like an inside to it. Just fucking have it be a piece of paper. If you're gonna,
That's
if
another
you're gonna
reason to
sell,
love Tunic. It based itself on the concept of having a manual, from the Japanese version maybe.
yes, that was like Tunic's thing, is that the gameplay was designed around that nostalgia for manuals. Most games don't buy stores from anyhow. I mean, yes,
Games
true,
don't buy
but
stores from what? You mean
most folks don't buy games from stores.
Most stores
Yes.
don't buy games from people. Well,
Yes,
Well,
not a lot of
yeah,
people
that's
buy
true.
video games from a brick and mortar store, but there are still people who do, and video game video game producers are still going to keep making physical versions. And if they are going to keep doing that, I don't see why it needs to be a hard shell case that contains nothing. I don't see why it can't just be
Be like a card.
yeah, like a card.
It's
I want it for
tradition.
media. I want to own the shit I buy, not rent
Yeah.
I mean, yes.
Yeah.
But that would require them to actually make a physical media, which, like I said, if all they're doing is they're just selling a cardboard disc with a code on it, why make the shell case?
Should just
it.
appeal
It would
to...
be better if they had, you know, an actual fucking disc that had the game on it and didn't require anything besides a patch, maybe.
Sometimes it's nice just to have something on the shelf.
I wonder
There's
if-
some... that's a new thing where... I'll let you talk after this, Jonas.
Okay.
Where some companies will release special editions of the game, but it doesn't actually include the game itself. It just has the tin. Like the aluminum version of the case.
Yeah, it's all the extra shit you get with the premium edition without
But not
actually
the
having
actual
the
game itself. Yeah.
I think that was
Well,
God
Switch
of War
games
did
have
that.
the game on them, for the most part. Not like PS5 and Xbox whatever where the disc is just the activation key basically.
Yeah.
Games are too big to fit on a Blu-ray disc.
No, you're just too lazy with your data management.
Well, it doesn't, I mean, it's true. It's very true.
Well, I mean,
But it
you know,
doesn't benefit.
What am I supposed to do when the voice acting is 1 gigabyte on its own?
Oh. No. It's not the voice actor being 1 gigabyte is the problem. It's the fucking...
Isn't it usually the soundtrack? Isn't that usually the...
No.
Texture.
Yes,
Textures
sounds are
sound.
usually pretty big, but yes, it's the textures mostly, because the textures,
Oh,
especially on modern games, the textures are like 8K
oh,
uncompressed.
yeah.
And it's just like, okay, come on.
For me, it's
Fucking don't
like
need that.
for me, it's like I have like maybe like 300 megabytes total of art, but the voice acting is like 1 gigabyte. It's 1 gigabyte in itself.
Maxi, can we get the bit crunched, like, 12 kilobit version
God,
of all the audio?
you can hear it, like hearing it through a telephone.
I would love that. I want the Hasty Night version. Where all the audio sounds like it's going...
yourself a great big butt.
Oh,
Just
you
the
Yeah.
largest thing ever.
just need to play chapter 2 then.
do like the 4-color CGA version from 1984.
Please.
Amazing.
I want it to sound like all the audio is coming from an NES hack.
No, see, I want to see, where's that adder model you made a while ago? I want to see adder like that, but with the frickin' Popeye arms of
Oh, hell
FF7.
N64 Hasty Night. That's it right there.
Excuse you, that's PlayStation 2.
Oh. My bad.
A PlayStation 2 version of Hasty Night.
I
That'd
would
be quality.
love that. I would love that.
I miss the era of PlayStation 2 games, man. I think it's a genuine compliment if I can call a game, like if I say like it feels like it was put on the PS2. Those games tried.
See, for me, the corresponding era is like late NES. Late 80s, early 90s.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, that's my nostalgia peak right there. Like, I love stuff that has that aesthetic, like Undertale. But that's just me. I'm showing my age.
I feel for me like my favorite console was like probably like SP or Nintendo DS.
Oh.
So like I love my PS2, but like I just really liked the way handhelds used to be. So I don't have big hands, so like they're fairly small. So even a Switch is very heavy for me.
I noticed that when I had little kid hands, I enjoyed the square Nintendo controllers. Now that I'm middle aged and I have, I'm much larger. It's like it's not comfortable at all. Like, I have to have a more modern controller. I just can't do the square thing anymore.
They're still like very very comfortable for me. So that's why it's a problem for me when it's like like the Switch it's made to be able to be held by a child, but it's still very heavy for me. I don't know. I must have like shit arm strength or whatever, but like I cannot. It's very uncomfortable. All the modern consoles are super uncomfortable for me.
We'll get you one of those like 8-bit dough controllers.
I have one of those. Rano recommended it to me, and but not for playing games. Using it as like a left-hand device for zooming and
Oh,
stuff.
for like art
Yeah.
stuff?
Yeah,
That's really clever.
yeah.
That's great use for it.
I don't think I could actually use it to play games. It's tiny.
What kind of control did you say it was?
8-bit dough.
8-bit
like
dough. Here, let me find a picture of it. They're itty bitty. Well, they make ones that are decent size, but the model that he suggested to me is teeny tiny.
Believe it or not, they make an excellent keyboard.
Keyboard. Nice.
They made an NES or Famicom styled keyboard, and it's legitimately pretty dang good.
That is very cute.
Oh, Maxi Void, have you guys seen the incredibly cursed GameCube keyboard controller?
I think
need
I
to see
have,
this.
but I would love to see it again.
The PSO controller.
Yeah, the Fastest Star Online controller.
Please send. Send controller. Send keyboard.
It's literally a GameCube controller with a keyboard implanted in the middle part.
Oh, this is good.
Like that's like it's like CDI level of cursed.
They love that.
I guess what time it is.
Oh,
I am-
It's no longer adventure time!
I kinda want one though.
I would be
Dude.
tempted to make that a daily driver.
All right.
Alright, right now to Canadian Dragon. Because
Cool.
literally nobody else is online. Yay!
Yay!
Eh,
Well, Maxi Void, thanks for guesting tonight. Always good to see you
thank
guys.
you for having
Yeah.
us.
It was a blessed time. I'm glad I was able to make it. Thanks for letting me crash.
Always. And we'll catch y'all next time for more Zelda.
Yep.
More Zelda, apparently, even though I finished the regular game. Have a good night.
Good night,
Good night,
everyone.
everybody.
Night.
Good night.